to get started, pretty simple. You have your climate control over here. You're gonna get warmer, colder, just with this dial right here. To your AC, it's gonna push that button. Go ahead and put it in that position.
Okay.
Now over here, this dial is gonna be your fan speed. Pretty simple, self-explanatory. You got your front defroster over here. That's gonna send air to the windshield, and this is gonna activate the rear defogger.
Okay.
Okay, this is going to pull air from outside the vehicle to the inside. That's usually what you have it on at all times. Sometimes you can circulate the air through the inside of the car as well. Okay, and then this is going to be the direction of air. You can also have it go to your feet and go to defrost.
Okay.
So, now up here, this is going to be to turn on and off your radio. See how I push that button?
Right.
Go ahead and turn everything on. So you're on XM right now, which you get for 3 months. To change from XM to AM to FM, it's going to be this radio band right here. It's going to go AM, FM, XM. Okay. And now, as far as your favorites go, you have 6 pages of favorites. Now you can see this button right here. Oops. Push the wrong button here. Okay, see all these pages. You got page 3 of 6, 4 of 6, 5 of 6, 6 of 6. Now you can set that to have as many pages as you'd like. If you want 1 page, you can have 1 page. If you want 2. What I tend to find is maybe the easiest is have 3, 1 AM, FM, XM.
Okay.
So you kind of bracket them up a little bit and spread them out. Real simple to set it to. If you like this station that we're on, let's go to first page. We're on page 1. Go ahead and just hold the number 1. Now you saved it. Very simple.
Okay.
You got extra storage up here. I like to put my garage door opener and my sunglasses up there. Pretty simple.
Okay.
Okay, so you have, this is going to be your auxiliary button. That's when you plug your iPod in. Now, if you look over here, you have your auxiliary jack right inside there.
Okay.
Now, what that is, I don't know if you remember me telling you this, but it's like a double-ended headphone without the headphone. You know, the jack that goes into your whatever you're listening to.
Yes.
Little jack. Well, it's a double-ended. One goes into here, one goes into your iPod or MP3 player, whatever kind of music device you have. Okay. And push this auxiliary. Yes, there's no aux device. It'll recognize it when you plug it in.
Okay.
And then it'll play right through there. However, your songs won't show up here. It'll show up on your iPod, so you'll cycle through music with your iPod, which I find is pretty easy because it almost makes it hands-free at that point. You can hold it right in front of you while you're driving instead of looking down and try to, mess with it up here. So I find that's actually pretty simple. Now, one thing that's, I don't know if you've ever had a vehicle like this before to get used to, I found honestly the most difficult. It's the lock and unlock it right in the middle.
Yeah.
And that's something that I personally drive the Equinox, and I still to this day I'm like, yeah, it's in the middle, but it saves a little bit more space over here, doesn't clutter the doors up at all. Then you have your child lock over here and your hazards right in the middle.
Okay.
Okay, so now you have a few different options up here. You have a configure button, which you're gonna pretty much go through like system settings and things like that. Here's one. Let's see, no, that's not it. There's a setting on here that you can actually say auto volume. Okay, so that when your engine revs up and starts making a little bit of noise, it'll actually compensate that with the radio.
Oh yeah.
And make it louder. It's on low, which is usually standard. It's not too big of a difference. However, it does help a little bit. I mean, I don't find you use it that often, so low or medium is probably okay. That's up to you, wherever you want. And they also have high. Go back. And you also have maximum startup volume. So if you're listening, jamming out, listening to music real loud, and you shut it off and forget, and get in the car the next day and turn it on, and it blows your eardrums. So you can actually set it to wherever you want. 12's okay.
Yeah. Okay, that's good.
Now you can go through to info, which is going to give you a little more information on what you're listening to. Normally XM, this is the info buttons usually used on XM because they offer most of the information on artists and songs and things like that. Most radio stations actually don't, but it will give you a little more info on what you're listening to. You got your eject button right here. This CD button is going to change the radio to listen to your CD. Play, pause, seek, pretty simple. And seek is going to get you radio station to radio station, and then this dial will go up one by one. Okay. So we'll go to like FM. Alright, see how this will go down point by point.
Right.
until you
Okay.
find what you want, and then you have seek, which is going to find the next radio station.
Okay.
Okay. How many pages of favorites did you want?
I don't know right now.
Okay.
I usually do. I probably would be good with one, but now that I got 6, I can figure out probably have the kid stations on it.
Okay, and I just want to show you how to change it.
Yes.
Radio favorites. Then you just go to whatever how many pages you want. Let's set it as 3 for now, so just so you're safe with it and you don't have excess right now. So now you got 3 pages. Alright, and that's pretty much everything here. You got the clock down here. This is going to hang up your phone when you're on Bluetooth.
Okay.
That's going to hang it up. You also have that option right over here, which is usually what you use. This is going to be the Bluetooth pairing device. I don't know if you want to go ahead after you're done with this. We'll go ahead and pair it.
Okay.
This is going to shift up through your favorites right here. It's going to go up and down through your favorites. And source is going to give you AM, XM, FM. So, and then you have your volume right here. Now over here you have your cruise control. To activate cruise control to make it ready, you go ahead and push that button. See how that dial came up over there?
Yeah.
Okay, that means it's ready to be set. Now what that does is pretty much a safety feature. When it's off, you can't set it like on accident or anything like that. So you do that. It's not set yet, but it's ready to be set. And to set it, you just go like that to hit down and it'll set, and then you can go up and down speed, and then that at any time will cancel it, and then that'll deactivate the entire system.
Okay.
Okay, let's see here. You also have a few different menu options. I mean, this is mostly for XM and favorites. It's not something you use too often, so most of the time you'll use this configure button to get to different settings on the radio. I mean, this is pretty much, this one and back are going to be the two. And then you also have tone, which is going to give you a customized radio setting, which I'll show you which usually the best sounding one is.
Yeah.
This is just what I've noticed through doing these 100 times. Right there. Gives a lot of dynamic to that sound. It actually sounds really good. You can go, a lot of times the bass is usually what people mostly play with, but the treble at 12 and mid-range at 4 usually sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
And actually, go down to 10. And if you, usually when you put that bass up a little bit, you want that treble to go up with it. So if you go to 10, you want that treble at 12. I like to have at least a couple points difference in the treble.
Okay.
So you can actually hear those high notes. Okay, let's go back and let's change the station.
Yeah.
Okay, classic vinyl. It's a really good one. You'll probably find yourself listening to this one a lot. Okay, now over here. Over here, you actually have your buttons down here. Okay, so menu, and then this is going to be set or clear if you hold it, and then this is going to go up and down. So right now you're on speed, which I actually use the most. It's really easy just to kind of check down and see where your speed's at.
Right.
Now if you change it, you have a timer, you can start. You have your average speed, instant fuel economy, average fuel economy. What's cool about this instant fuel economy, it tells you how your driving habits affect your gas mileage. It'll give you real-time mile per gallon. As you're pushing down that gas, it'll tell you how much fuel you're using.
Okay.
So it's kind of cool to train yourself a little bit to get yourself better gas mileage. Okay, now your fuel range. You also have your trips.
Right.
And then you'll have you can, when you activate your navigation to OnStar, you actually will get directions in there, and some of them will show up over here. It'll come through your radio when you're needing to make a turn. It'll actually quiet down your music, and then a lady's voice will come on and tell you where to go. So you actually have turn-by-turn navigation with that OnStar program.
Okay.
Okay, now menu is going to change what you're looking at. That was the vehicle information. Actually, you know what? No, that was the trip fuel. Okay, so this is vehicle information. Oil life, tire pressure, all around, which is real important. I like to check that, especially if you're going on a long trip or something like that.
Right.
Or if you leave the car at the airport, temperature change, you come back, you want to just check it and make sure they're all the same. And within, 2 or 3 within each other is usually okay. I mean, anything more than 5, I would probably get it more leveled out.
All right.
Okay, and that's pretty much it for that. Now you also have your rear wipers over here. The top one's going to be to activate it, and then the bottom one is going to be to spray it.
Okay.
Okay, and then this is going to be your windshield wiper controls all over here, and over here you have your lights.
Yeah.
It's on auto. You
right.
flick it down, you're going to shut it off. You flick it down again, it's going to stay on auto.
Okay.
So, and then you also have your brights, just like that. Okay, and then forward's going to keep them on.
Okay.
All right, and then you also have parking lights, driving lights.
So leave it in auto.
Auto is fine. You got your sensor right up here. That's going to sense when it's dark out in case you need it on. If your lights aren't on, it'll turn it on automatically.
So don't block that.
No, I mean usually the lights will, they're daytime running lights, so they'll be on. However, if you have them off and that senses that you're in a, like if you go through a tunnel even, it'll turn them on for you.
Okay.
Okay, you have your lights right up here. Actually, this is going to, when in the back position, it's going to keep the lights off when you open the door.
Correct. Okay.
So, and then this front one's going to keep it on at all times. This one's going to make it automatic, so when you open the door, and then these two will do them individually.
Okay.
Now you have your OnStar button right here. You have your vehicle phone right here. Your vehicle actually has its own phone number. You get, I believe, 30 minutes loaded into it for free. And what you want to do to use that is go ahead and push the button, tell them to dial, and then you say the number, and it'll dial to, like, say, do it to your cell phone, so then you can record that number down so you have it. And what that's good for is if you run out of signal, you forget your phone, or run out of battery, you can always use this phone in emergency situations. OnStar, pretty much any kind of directions, any kind of information you want on your vehicle, just push this, you'll get directly connected to an OnStar advisor. And this one's going to be emergency for any reason. Anyone's hurt, need emergency crews, and it doesn't have to be anyone involved with your policy. It could be anybody. Like you see somebody on the side of the road just got in an accident, you push that button, and they'll actually GPS your location, and they'll send crews out.
Okay.
Your CD inputs right there. So sometimes people.
Yeah, we still have CDs.
Where it's at.
Yeah.
I actually, now that I have that auxiliary, I put a different stereo in my car. I'm not talking about the Equinox, I'm talking about my daily driver. After I put that auxiliary in, I don't use anything else, just because you can have 1,000 songs plugged into there rather than keeping 100 CDs. So I find that auxiliary I use quite a bit. Now over here you have your eco mode.
Right.
And what that's going to do is change your shift points. It's going to slow the vehicle down a little bit. But it's good for like long distance driving. If you get into a groove where you're set on your path for a while, go ahead and put it in eco mode. It'll conserve gas wherever it can. Then you also can turn your traction control off right here. Which the only reason why you do that is if maybe you're stuck in snow and it's cutting too much power to the wheels. You turn that off, and then the wheels will receive all the power.
Okay.
So.
All right.
And that's pretty much the rundown of the interior.
Okay.
So.